Good afternoon, ladies. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Do you love to talk? I love to talk sometimes. My kids, they don't like to listen all the time. I mean, it's getting better now. Now they're in their late teens, but I'm talking about when they were in their tweens, and I thought I had lots of good things to impart, and I had things to say, and I wanted them to listen, and it didn't always work very well. Maybe you can relate. I'm Marina Gabor, founder of Tween Talk, empowering moms to raise independent kids, and the Life Skills Club. My three daughters, like I said, they're in their late teens, and we homeschooled our way right through all of those tween years, which means we spent a lot of time together. But I'm here to say that if you want a good relationship with your kids, if you'd like them to be strong, independent individuals, building that foundation in the tween years pays off. So you are in the right place, and I am glad that you are here. Please do stick around all the way to the end. I'm going to share with you 3 things I learned as I learned how to talk to my tweens so that they would listen, and it may help you talk to yours. Now, to be clear, today we're talking about conveying information. Not every conversation is going to lead to a discussion and this collaborative sort of back and forth. Sometimes we just need to convey information. They need the information. We have the information. We need to get it across. But if you've ever been frustrated with your tween when they do or don't do something after you've explicitly talked about it, be sure to stay to the end so you get all the practical tips for talking so your tween will actually listen. Excuse me. So I remember being super excited about a class. I was finally able to enroll the girls. I think it was Spanish or something, and we had been talking about it and we had been learning, and we wanted to be able to do this at an in-person class. And finally, I found one. So I was pretty excited. I thought they would be excited. I just wanted to share this good news with them because this is something that we had talked about doing. I expected them to be excited and appreciate that I had managed to get these spots and arrange this, that I was going to be driving to make sure they got there every week, and it was like an hour away. And I thought they'd be excited. But they were busy chattering amongst themselves, and I bounded in and tried to get their attention, and they just continued their conversation. I mean, I suppose it's good that all my work to try to get them to get along as sister friends was paying off, but I felt ignored. I had important information to share with them. Things that directly impacted their life and their schedule and what was going to be happening, and I couldn't get their attention. Excuse me. I felt deflated. Was my work for nothing? Why had I bothered? Excuse me, I'm going to grab a drink. Why had I bothered? I worked so hard to try to do this thing for them, and they weren't even excited. They didn't care. It seemed like they didn't care. Should I have even bothered? I felt kind of disrespected. I was their mother. They should listen to me, right? Maybe you felt the same way. Well, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that that same kind of scenario played out a couple of times before I realized what I am about to share with you today. So I'm hoping that sharing this with you today will help you not take quite so long to understand how to get their attention so they will listen when you have information to share with them. Things that matter to them, that will affect their life, and that you have worked hard to put in place for them. So, here's what I figured out. And it's always easier to see it in somebody else's life. Like as I was talking, maybe you were going, duh, of course. What would you expect? They were in the middle of a conversation. But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you just can't see it. So here are the three things that I figured out. First of all, I needed to choose the right time. When I was just bounding in, saying, hey, I did this thing, their brains were somewhere else. They weren't focused on what I was saying. They weren't in the frame of mind to receive what I was going to tell them. They weren't ready to be excited about that because they were thinking about something completely different. So when we're talking about choosing the right time, if they're in the middle of something and you have something to say and you're super excited, if it's not timely, like if it's not time sensitive, wait. So you can wait and ask them, how long are you going to be talking? When would be a good time for us to chat? I have some exciting news for us. Ask. They'll feel respected, especially as they're going into those tween years and they're desperately trying to be grown up. They want to feel respected. They want to feel like they're a little more independent. So when you say, hey, when are you going to be done that? I have something to share. It'll take about 5 minutes. When can we do that? That might trigger enough curiosity that go, well, just you can't not tell us now. And then you can go ahead. But you're more likely to have their attention if you actually ask for it instead of just diving right in. Now, also the benefit of asking and how you're asking, if you just say, hey, I have something for us to talk about. I don't know about you, but those words put dread into my heart because every time, well, I shouldn't say every time, often when my mom would come to talk to me and she used those words, I knew that I'd done something wrong or something that she perceived as wrong, or I was going to be asked to do something. There was something. I didn't want to be that for my kids. So then I realized, oh, I need to say what it's about just enough so that they can relax, finish what they're doing, and then come to that with curiosity and an open mind. All right, next thing. So we want to choose the right time, a time when they're available. Next thing, we want to break this information down. So how do we do this? We don't want to just like word dump all of this stuff, which is so easy to do. Because if you're excited and you have all of the information, you know all of the things, we want to pick out the things that actually matter to them and affect their life directly. And we want to break it down. So instead of just saying, if we go back to that Spanish class example, instead of saying, oh my goodness, and this is about the curriculum, and then you get to learn this, and then you get to learn this, and we get to go every week, and then after we're done, we're going to do this, and I keep going, and all of a sudden, it's all of these things, and they haven't processed any of it. So on Tuesday, when it's time for Spanish class, and I say, okay, we need to be ready by 2:30, they're like, huh? I think we talked about this. How can you not How could you have missed it? It's on the calendar. We talked about it. But they do. They miss things because we have way too much. So instead, we break it down and say, I got us into that Spanish class. So that's what they need to know. Tuesday at 2:30, so they know when it is. We need to leave at 1:30 because it's going to take us an hour to get to the class. And we're going to bring a lunch or supper, snack, something. We're going to bring some food with us, but we'll be home by supper time. So make sure you bring a snack. Now they know all they need to know. And it was like in this micro bit of time. And then they can ask more if they want to know more. But at least if you break it down, you have their attention for this long, so you fit the information into that slot. And then if the attention expands from there, then you can talk about it some more. So break it down to what matters for their life. And finally, keep conversations short and focused. You'll notice that conversation that I just went through, there wasn't anything extra. It was short, just focused on the details, how they affected the tweens. This is how it's affecting you. This is what you need to do. Trust me, I can go on tangents. I can get excited. You can ramble about things. You can talk about, and if we do the Spanish class, and then maybe we could go to Mexico someday. And what kind of Spanish do they use in Mexico instead of Spain? And you can go on all sorts of rabbit trails, but they are going to stop listening. It doesn't matter to them. So we want to make sure, choose the right time. And when we're choosing the right time, we're asking them, hey, maybe when you finished your math, we can talk about the Spanish class that I just got you into. How long are you, how much longer will it be till you're finished your math? They feel respected. They're going to give us the time, and they're going to be ready to listen because they'll come with that intention. Secondly, we're going to break down that information into only the things that matter to them. And we'll save the extras if they're curious. And as time goes on, we can give them some of those extras. And finally, keep it short, to the point, just what they need to do. That's all the attention we need them to focus for. And then when we do these things, then the next time we say, hey, I got something exciting going on. Let me know when you have 5 minutes. They'll go, oh, okay, 5 minutes does mean 5 minutes. It is going to be short. It is going to be related to me. And we can do this when I'm ready to focus. Now, of course, if it's an emergency situation and they need to pay attention right now, we don't do this. We get their attention by whatever means. But if we are building a relationship, helping them expand, to be more independent, that also means that we need to be more mindful and respectful of, like, what are they doing? What am I doing? How do those things fit together? And that mutual respect, which will help build up your relationship. So whether you struggle to start conversations with your tween or struggle not to overwhelm them with your talking, this framework, the choose the right time, where did we go here? Choose the right time, break down the information, and keep it short. It's going to help you get information across with less stress and far less frustration. Now, I am opening up 5 spots on my calendar this week for you. So if you are struggling with communication with your tween, and it's more like a fight than it is fun, book a 15-minute call. I'm going to put the link in the chat, because sometimes Well, sometimes we do like to talk. Sometimes we need to talk things out. And sometimes talking out that situation with somebody on the outside helps bring some clarity. So I'm happy to offer you that 15-minute clarity call and offer you any resources that I have. It's completely free. You just need to find a time that works for you. So go ahead, click the link below. I will bring my beverage, peppermint tea. You can bring your beverage of choice and let's chat about it.